Hello and welcome to Eat These Words. Today I am going to be doing this little lovely, if you don't know what it is, it's Parkin. And Parkin is a traditional dish in the north of England, traditionally served on bonfire night. It's treacly, oaty, and it's squishy, and it's gingery, and it's absolutely to die for. So stick around while I show you how it's done. So, first of all, in my bowl, I have 16 ounces of porridge oats, 8 ounces of plain flour, 8 ounces of demerara sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of bicarbonate of soda, half a teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of ginger, and 1 teaspoon of mixed spice. That's all my dry ingredients. And all I'm going to do with them is mix them all together. Now then, Parkin comes from the north of England, which is where I live, in case you haven't guessed. An accent like mine, you should be able to. There are many variations on this recipe. Started back, I think, round about pagan times, when they used to make cakes for the celebration of winter. And this is one of them. And it used to be a really thin biscuit type thing. We've changed it over time for it to become more sponge-like, but with the addition of raising agents and what have you. But initially it was a fairly thin biscuit type texture, which over time would turn into what we recognise now as a gooey, sticky gingerbready type thing. What I'm going to do now is melt my wet ingredients. In a pan I have 16 ounces of treacle. And for anybody who's American, that's molasses. And that comes from the fact that we used to import treacle back in the day into Lancashire ports. It's a byproduct, I believe, of sugar. Correct me down below if I'm wrong on this one. We used to use it for cooking and so forth, and in drinks and what have you. And it's stuck around really, which, let's be fair, it is rather nice. And to that treacle, to those 16 ounces of treacle, I've added 8 ounces of butter. This is not a recipe for the faint-hearted, I have to say. So I'm going to melt that gently over a low flame. I've got my oven onto gas mark 4 and I've lined a 10 by 13 baking tray. This is what I call my gingerbread tray, but you can call it whatever you wish. This is a very similar recipe to a gingerbread, I've got to say. However, the addition of oats seemed to make it a little bit more substantial. In this area of the world, oh good lord, we have our own recipe, not surprisingly. Oats were generally grown oats were generally grown in the north of the country, which is why we use oats in our Parkin. And we all have a variation on this. There's like 3 significant counties in the north of England that have their own variation, possibly another one, but I haven't seen it online, so excuse me for this one. But there is a Yorkshire version. Turn that down slightly, it's gone too high. There's a Lancashire Parkin, and the one I'm making today is a Cumberland Westmoreland Parkin. So they're all different, they all have different additions. Yorkshire Parkin, which is more like what this is off, tends to have treacle in it more than anything, and it's a darker, richer cake. Lancashire Parkin is a lighter texture due to the addition of golden syrup. So I'm just waiting for my butter to melt into my treacle. Once you've melted your butter and treacle together, leave it to cool for about 5 to 10 minutes. We don't want it scorching hot. I have 3 ounces of milk here. This is semi-skimmed milk. You can use full fat milk. And 1 egg. I'm going to crack my egg into my milk. This will help it to stop scrambling when I add it to my cake mixture if my treacle is making my cake still a bit hot. So give it a whisk and put it to one side for a minute. Once your treacle and butter mixture has sat for about 5 to 10 minutes, it's time to make a well in the middle of your dry ingredients. And we're going to add it to our dry ingredients. So scrape the bottom of your pan. We want all goodness. Not spare any calories on this, guys. If you're going to do it, do it. And we're going to mix this in as thoroughly as possible. Traditionally, Parkin is served round about the end of October, beginning of November, and it's linked to something called All Saints' Day, which is a festivity in the Anglican Church, which is generally on the 1st of November, and it's also served on the November the 5th to celebrate Guy Fawkes trying to burn down the Houses of Parliament. Like keeping the old stuff alive as much as I do, and you like what I'm doing, hit me up with a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe to my channel, that would be lovely, thank you. No pressure there. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button below and hit the notification bell, and it'll tell you when my recipes hit your inbox. As it's nearly there, I'm going to add my egg and milk mixture. So that's my 3 ounces of milk and my 1 egg, and pop that in, and that'll loosen it up a little bit. So there we go, all done. We're going to place this mixture into our 10 by 13 tray that we have. Just bring that in, and in it goes, she says, hopefully. This is heavy, guys. Smells delicious, I have to say. Right, so just spread it out till it covers your tray. And I'm going to place this in an oven, gas mark 4. Well, I'll put the conversions on the screen now for you. Gas mark 4 for about an hour to an hour and a half until it is set. And we're back with you when we've done that. It's treacly, oaty, and it's squishy, and it's gingery, and it's absolutely to die for. If you like what I'm doing, hit me up with a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, hit the subscribe button below, and there's a little notification bell. If you want my videos to be notified to your inbox, then click that bell and it'll do that for you. Saves you forgetting that I'm around, which is always good. Leave a comment below if you make this in a different way. If you're from Lancashire, how do you do it? Yorkshire, how do you do it? Northumbria, I'm not even sure how you do it, but if you do, let me know below, because I'm from Cumbria, or we've just changed our name and we're back to Cumberland. So anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Eat These Words. Bye now.